Question 1. Title insurance endorsements in Louisiana. A lender requests an endorsement to ensure that the property complies with existing zoning regulations and that no violations will affect the value or usability of the property. Which endorsement should the title agent issue in this scenario? A. Environmental endorsement. B. Survey endorsement. C. Zoning endorsement. D. Tax endorsement. Answer: C. Zoning endorsement. Explanation: a zoning endorsement ensures that the property complies with local zoning regulations and that no existing violations will impact the property's value or intended use. This is important for lenders as zoning violations can affect the property's future marketability or usability. Other endorsements, such as the survey endorsement, protect against boundary disputes but do not cover zoning matters. The environmental endorsement deals with environmental hazards, while the tax endorsement addresses tax-related risks. Louisiana title insurance regulations and the ALTA, American Land Title Association, commonly include zoning endorsements to protect the lender's interests in real estate transactions. Question 2. Louisiana real estate law. In Louisiana, Mr. Smith and his wife purchased a property under community property laws. Mr. Smith wants to sell the property without his wife's consent. Under Louisiana law, what is the correct course of action? A. Mr. Smith can sell the property without his wife's consent as long as he is listed as the owner. B. Mr. Smith must get his wife's consent because the property is considered community property. C. Mr. Smith can sell his share of the property but not his wife's. D. Mr. Smith can only sell the property after a judicial order is obtained. Answer: B. Mr. Smith must get his wife's consent because the property is considered community property. Explanation: in Louisiana, property acquired during marriage is typically classified as community property, meaning that both spouses have equal ownership rights. Under Louisiana's Civil Code, for Mr. Smith to sell the property, he must obtain his wife's consent. If he tries to sell the property without her consent, the transaction would be invalid and his wife could challenge the sale. This reflects the community property system in Louisiana, which requires mutual consent for the disposition of jointly owned assets. Louisiana law does allow for some exceptions, such as property owned separately before marriage, but community property rules apply to most real estate acquired during marriage. Question 3. Scenario-based question. Title defects. Mrs. Johnson purchased a home in Louisiana, and shortly after the purchase she discovers that there is a pre-existing lien on the property from a contractor who was not paid for previous work. The lien was not disclosed during the title search. What steps should Mrs. Johnson take to resolve this issue, and how does title insurance protect her in this case? Mrs. Johnson must pay the lien herself as title insurance does not cover undisclosed liens. B. Mrs. Johnson can file a claim with her title insurance company, which will defend against the lien and cover any loss resulting from it. C. Mrs. Johnson should sue the seller for failing to disclose the lien, as the title insurance policy only covers voluntary liens. D. Mrs. Johnson must negotiate with the contractor directly and reach a settlement, as title insurance does not cover contractor liens. Answer: B. Mrs. Johnson can file a claim with her title insurance company, which will defend against the lien and cover any loss resulting from it. Explanation: title insurance policies, particularly owners' policies, protect buyers like Mrs. Johnson from undisclosed liens and other title defects that were not revealed during the title search process. The title insurance company has a duty to defend against the lien and indemnify Mrs. Johnson for any financial loss caused by the contractor's claim. Title insurers are responsible for ensuring that the property is free of defects at the time of the sale, and undisclosed liens are one of the common risks covered by these policies. Louisiana's public records doctrine requires proper recording of liens, but title defects like this can sometimes slip through, making title insurance essential for buyer protection. Question 4. Title insurance fundamentals. Which component of a title insurance policy provides information about the legal description of the property, the names of the parties involved, and any recorded encumbrances or exceptions? A. Schedule A. B. Schedule B. C. Title commitment. D. Endorsements. Answer: A. Schedule A. Explanation: Schedule A, title insurance policy, outlines the basic details of the policy, including the legal description of the property, the names of the insured parties, and the amount of coverage. Schedule B lists the exceptions to coverage, such as existing liens, easements, or other encumbrances. The title commitment is a preliminary report that provides similar information but is issued before the actual policy is finalized. Endorsements are additional clauses added to modify the coverage of the policy but do not include the basic property details. Question 5. Louisiana property and title transfers. Under Louisiana law, if a property owner wants to transfer their property to a family member without a monetary exchange, which form of transfer should be used? A. Donation inter vivos. B. Sale with warranty deed. C. Quitclaim deed. D. Special warranty deed. Answer: A donation inter vivos. Explanation: a donation inter vivos is a transfer of property made during the donor's lifetime without a monetary exchange, typically used for family transfers. This form of transfer allows the property to be given away while the donor is still alive. Sale with warranty deed involves a monetary exchange and guarantees clear title. Quitclaim deed transfers any interest the grantor may have without guaranteeing clear title, and special warranty deed provides a limited warranty of title. For non-monetary transfers between family members, donation inter vivos is the appropriate legal mechanism. Question 6. Mortgage and lien law in Louisiana. In Louisiana, which type of lien is created voluntarily by the property owner and usually involves securing a loan? A. Judgment lien. B. Mortgage lien. C. Tax lien. D. Mechanics lien. Answer: B. Mortgage lien. Explanation: a mortgage lien is a voluntary lien created when a property owner takes out a loan and uses the property as collateral. This type of lien is agreed upon by the borrower and lender. In contrast, a judgment lien is involuntary and arises from a court judgment against the property owner. A tax lien is imposed by the government for unpaid taxes, and a mechanics lien is typically involuntary and arises from unpaid work or material supplied for improvements on the property. Question 7. Claims handling and resolution. If a title insurance claim involves a defect that was present but not discovered until after the policy was issued, what is the primary responsibility of the title insurer under Louisiana law? A. The title insurer is not responsible for defects discovered after policy issuance. B. The title insurer must defend the insured and pay for any loss caused by the defect. C. The title insurer must negotiate with the seller to cover the defect. D. The title insurer must reimburse the insured for legal fees incurred in resolving the defect. Answer: B. The title insurer must defend the insured and pay for any loss caused by the defect. Explanation: under Louisiana law and standard title insurance practices, the title insurer is obligated to defend the insured against claims related to title defects and pay for any loss caused by such defects. This duty includes covering the cost of legal defense and indemnification for financial losses due to title issues. Title insurance is designed to protect against defects not discovered during the title search process. The insurer is responsible for addressing these issues to ensure the insured's interests are protected. Question 8. Surveying and boundary disputes. What is the primary purpose of a land survey in the context of title insurance? A. To determine the market value of the property. B. To identify and resolve boundary disputes and encroachments. C. To verify the history of property ownership. D. To assess the property's environmental conditions. Answer: B. To identify and resolve boundary disputes and encroachments. Explanation: a land survey primarily serves to identify and resolve boundary disputes and encroachments. It provides a detailed mapping of the property's boundaries and any potential issues with neighboring properties. While surveys can also provide information on environmental conditions or property history, their main function in title insurance is to ensure the property boundaries are accurately represented and to address any encroachments or disputes that could affect the property's title. Question 9. Louisiana title insurance regulations. Which entity is primarily responsible for regulating title insurance practices and licensing title producers in Louisiana? A. Louisiana Department of Revenue. B. Louisiana Real Estate Commission. C. Louisiana Department of Insurance. D. Louisiana Supreme Court. Answer: C. Louisiana Department of Insurance. Explanation: the Louisiana Department of Insurance is the regulatory authority responsible for overseeing title insurance practices and licensing title producers in Louisiana. This department ensures compliance with the state's title insurance laws, including those set forth in the Louisiana Title Insurance Act, Title 22 of the Louisiana Revised Statutes. The Louisiana Real Estate Commission oversees real estate brokers and agents, while the Louisiana Department of Revenue handles tax-related matters. The Louisiana Supreme Court is involved in judicial matters, but not in the regulation of title insurance. Question 10. Public records and recording. How does the public records doctrine affect the enforceability of property titles in Louisiana? A. It allows for any unrecorded interests to override recorded titles. B. It ensures that recorded interests are enforceable against all parties. C. It prevents recorded interests from being challenged in court. D. It mandates that all property transactions must be conducted in person. Answer: B. It ensures that recorded interests are enforceable against all parties. Explanation: the Public Records Doctrine in Louisiana mandates that recorded interests in property are enforceable against all parties who have notice of those records. This doctrine requires that property transactions and interests be recorded to establish priority and enforceability, and recorded interests are generally not enforceable against subsequent purchasers who are not aware of those interests. The doctrine ensures that recorded documents, such as deeds and liens, have legal effect and can be upheld in legal disputes. Question 11. Ethics and professional responsibility. Under Louisiana law, which of the following is considered an unethical practice for title agents? A. Providing a clear explanation of the title policy to clients. B. Disclosing all relevant information regarding potential title defects. C. Misrepresenting the coverage provided by the title insurance policy. D. Ensuring confidentiality of sensitive client information. Answer: C. Misrepresenting the coverage provided by the title insurance policy. Explanation: misrepresenting the coverage provided by a title insurance policy is considered an unethical practice under Louisiana law. Title agents are required to provide accurate and truthful information about the policy and its coverage, providing clear explanations, disclosing relevant information, and ensuring confidentiality are all ethical responsibilities of title agents. Misrepresentation can lead to legal consequences and undermine the trust between clients and agents. Question 12. Title insurance policy provisions. In a title insurance policy, which provision typically outlines the types of defects and risks that are excluded from coverage? A. Schedule A. B. Schedule B. C. Title commitment. D. Endorsements. Answer: B. Schedule B. Explanation: Schedule B of a title insurance policy lists the specific exclusions from coverage, including any known defects, encumbrances, or other risks that are not covered by the policy. Schedule A contains details about the insured property, the insured parties, and the amount of coverage. The title commitment is a preliminary document outlining the terms and conditions before issuing the final policy. Endorsements modify or add to the coverage provided by the policy but do not list exclusions. Question 13. Title defects and common title issues. What is the primary legal remedy for resolving a title defect related to an unresolved claim against a property in Louisiana? A. Quiet title action. B. Adverse possession claim. C. Foreclosure proceeding. D. Tax sale. Answer: A. Quiet title action. Explanation: a quiet title action is a legal remedy used to resolve disputes and clarify ownership when there are unresolved claims or defects affecting the title. This action is intended to quiet any challenges or claims against the property. Adverse possession involves claiming ownership through continuous and adverse use over a period of time, which does not resolve existing title defects. Foreclosure proceedings are related to the enforcement of a mortgage lien. Tax sales involve the sale of property due to unpaid taxes and do not directly address title defects. Question 14. Louisiana real estate law. Which form of property ownership in Louisiana involves shared ownership and equal rights between spouses? A. Sole ownership. B. Community property. C. Joint tenancy. D. Usufruct. Answer: B. Community property. Explanation: community property is a form of ownership in Louisiana where property acquired during marriage is jointly owned and equally shared by both spouses. Sole ownership is held by a single individual. Joint tenancy allows for equal ownership with right of survivorship but is not specifically a Louisiana concept. Usufruct refers to the right to use and enjoy property owned by another but does not involve shared ownership. Question 15. Real estate settlement procedures. Under the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, RESPA, what document must be provided to the borrower within 3 days of receiving the loan application? A. Closing disclosure. B. Good faith estimate. C. Title insurance commitment. D. Mortgage note. Answer: B. Good faith estimate. Explanation: under ISPA, the good faith estimate (G) must be provided to the borrower within 3 days of receiving their loan application. The GFE outlines the estimated costs and fees associated with the loan. The closing disclosure is provided before closing and includes final loan terms and costs. The title insurance commitment is issued after the title search and before closing. The mortgage note is a document that outlines the borrower's promise to repay the loan but is not required to be provided within 3 days of the loan application. Question 16. Title insurance endorsements. Which endorsement might be used to provide coverage for a property's zoning issues that were not disclosed in the original title policy? A. Environmental endorsement. B. Zoning endorsement. C. Survey endorsement. D. Tax endorsement. Answer: B. Zoning endorsement. Explanation: the zoning endorsement provides coverage for zoning issues and ensures the property complies with local zoning regulations. The environmental endorsement covers environmental hazards or contamination issues. The survey endorsement addresses issues related to property boundaries and encroachments. The tax endorsement deals with property tax matters and does not cover zoning issues. Question 17. Underwriting title insurance policies. When underwriting a title insurance policy, what is the primary purpose of reviewing public records? A. To assess the property's market value. B. To determine the presence of any title defects or encumbrances. C. To evaluate the property's tax history. D. To verify the current owner's credit score. Answer: B. To determine the presence of any title defects or encumbrances. Explanation: reviewing public records is crucial in underwriting a title insurance policy to determine the presence of any title defects or encumbrances that might affect the property's title. This includes checking for liens, easements, or any legal claims against the property. Assessing market value, tax history, or the owner's credit score is not the primary purpose of reviewing public records in this context. Question 18. Tax implications in title insurance. How does Louisiana's homestead exemption affect title insurance coverage? A. Exempts the property from any claims covered by the title insurance policy. B. It reduces the amount of coverage provided by the title insurance policy. C. It may affect the property's tax lien priority but does not alter title insurance coverage. D. It automatically transfers title insurance coverage to the new property owner. Answer: C. It may affect the property's tax lien priority but does not alter title insurance coverage. Explanation: the homestead exemption in Louisiana affects the priority of property tax liens but does not impact the coverage provided by title insurance. Title insurance protects against defects or issues affecting the title regardless of the homestead exemption status. The exemption reduces property tax liabilities but does not alter the scope of title insurance coverage. Question 19. Louisiana title insurance regulations. Which of the following is a key requirement for title producers in Louisiana regarding continuing education? A. Completion of 12 hours of continuing education every 2 years. B. Enrollment in a law degree program. C. Passing an additional state examination every year. D. Attending a national title insurance conference annually. Answer: A. Completion of 12 hours of continuing education every 2 years. Explanation: title producers in Louisiana are required to complete 12 hours of continuing education every 2 years to maintain their licenses. This requirement ensures that title producers stay updated on industry practices and regulations. Enrollment in a law degree program, passing additional state examinations, or attending conferences are not standard requirements for maintaining licensure. Question 20. Louisiana Public Records Doctrine. What effect does recording a deed have under the Louisiana Public Records Doctrine? A. It makes the deed enforceable against all future purchasers. B. It provides a legal defense against all title claims. C. It guarantees the deed's validity and eliminates all title disputes. D. It establishes the priority of the deed over previously recorded interests. Answer: D. It establishes the priority of the deed over previously recorded interests. Explanation: recording a deed under the Louisiana Public Records Doctrine establishes the priority of the deed over previously recorded interests, ensuring that subsequent purchasers are aware of the recorded deed. While recording provides notice and helps in establishing priority, it does not guarantee validity or eliminate all title disputes. It does not provide an absolute legal defense against title claims but helps establish precedents in disputes. Question 21. Title insurance fundamentals. Which component of a title insurance policy provides details about the property and the coverage amount? A. Schedule A. B. Schedule B. C. Title commitment. D. Endorsements. Answer: A. Schedule A. Explanation: Schedule A, a title insurance policy, provides detailed information about the property, including its legal description, the names of the insured parties, and the amount of coverage provided. Schedule B lists the exclusions and exceptions from coverage. The title commitment is a preliminary document outlining the terms before issuing the final policy, while endorsements modify or add to the coverage but do not provide the core details about the property or coverage amount. Question 22. Louisiana Title Insurance Regulations. Under Louisiana Title Insurance Act, which entity is primarily responsible for regulating title insurance activities? A. Louisiana Department of Insurance. B. Louisiana State Bar Association. C. Louisiana Real Estate Commission. D. Louisiana Board of Notaries. Answer: A. Louisiana Department of Insurance. Explanation: the Louisiana Department of Insurance is the primary regulatory authority overseeing title insurance activities in Louisiana. It handles licensing, compliance, and regulatory issues related to title insurance. The Louisiana State Bar Association deals with legal professionals. The Louisiana Real Estate Commission regulates real estate agents, and the Louisiana Board of Notaries oversees notaries public but does not regulate title insurance specifically. Question 23. Louisiana Real Estate Law. Which type of property ownership in Louisiana involves one spouse having exclusive rights over property acquired before marriage? A. Community property. B. Separate property. C. Joint tenancy. D. Usufruct. Answer: B. Separate property. Explanation: separate property refers to property acquired by either spouse before marriage or received as a gift or inheritance during the marriage. Community property involves shared ownership of property acquired during marriage. Joint tenancy involves shared ownership with right of survivorship, and usufruct is a right to use and enjoy property owned by another but does not pertain to ownership status. Question 24. Claims handling and resolution. When filing a title insurance claim, what is typically the first step that a title insurer must undertake? A. Conduct an immediate survey of the property. B. Perform a detailed investigation of the claim. C. Offer a settlement payment without investigation. D. Notify the insured of policy cancellation. Answer: B. Perform a detailed investigation of the claim. Explanation: upon receiving a title insurance claim, the title insurer must perform a detailed investigation to assess the validity and extent of the claim. This investigation includes reviewing the title history, examining relevant documents, and determining the cause and impact of the title defect, conducting a survey, offering settlement payments, or notifying policy cancellation are not initial steps in the claims process. Question 25. Surveying and boundary disputes. In Louisiana, which type of survey issue typically requires an endorsement to the title insurance policy to address potential boundary disputes? A. Environmental survey. B. Tax survey. C. Zoning survey. D. Survey endorsement. Answer: D. Survey endorsement. Explanation: a survey endorsement is used to address potential boundary disputes and issues related to property surveys. It modifies the title insurance policy to provide additional coverage related to boundary lines, encroachments, and easements. Environmental surveys deal with environmental hazards. Tax surveys relate to property tax assessments, and zoning surveys address zoning compliance but do not specifically cover boundary disputes. Question 26. Title insurance endorsements. Which endorsement provides coverage for issues arising from a property's environmental conditions that were not discovered during the initial title search? A. Zoning endorsement. B. Survey endorsement. C. Environmental endorsement. D. Mortgage endorsement. Answer: C. Environmental endorsement. Explanation: an environmental endorsement provides coverage for issues related to environmental conditions such as contamination or hazardous materials that were not discovered during the initial title search. The zoning endorsement covers zoning issues, the survey endorsement addresses survey-related issues, and the mortgage endorsement deals with specific aspects of mortgage-related coverage. Question 27. Basic insurance concepts and principles. Which principle of insurance is primarily concerned with ensuring that the insured has a financial interest in the property being insured? A. Principle of indemnity. B. Principle of subrogation. C. Principle of insurable interest. D. Principle of law of large numbers. Answer: C. Principle of insurable interest. Explanation: the principle of insurable interest requires that the insured must have a financial stake or interest in the property being insured, ensuring that they would suffer a financial loss if the property were damaged or lost. The principle of indemnity aims to restore the insured to the same financial position they were in before the loss. Subrogation allows the insurer to seek recovery from third parties responsible for the loss, and the law of large numbers pertains to risk assessment and underwriting. Question 20. Louisiana property and title transfers. Which type of deed in Louisiana provides the least amount of protection to the buyer and merely transfers whatever interest the seller has in the property? A. Warranty deed. B. Special warranty deed. C. Quitclaim deed. D. Bargain and sale deed. Answer C. Quitclaim deed. Explanation. A quitclaim deed provides the least amount of protection to the buyer because it transfers whatever interest the seller has in the property without any warranties or guarantees regarding the title's validity. A warranty deed provides full protection with warranties against title defects. A special warranty deed offers limited protection, only covering issues that arose during the seller's ownership. Bargain and sale deeds typically imply that the seller has title to the property but offer limited protection. Question 29. Real estate settlement procedures. What is the primary purpose of a closing protection letter in a real estate transaction? A. To guarantee the accuracy of the settlement statement. B. To protect the parties against errors or fraud by the title agent. C. To outline the final terms of the mortgage loan. D. To provide a detailed description of the property. Answer B. To protect the parties against errors or fraud by the title agent. Explanation. A closing protection letter is designed to protect the parties involved in the real estate transaction from errors, fraud, or misappropriation of funds by the title agent or closing attorney. It does not guarantee the accuracy of the settlement statement, outline mortgage loan terms, or describe the property. Instead, it serves as a safeguard against specific risks associated with the closing process. Question 30. Title defects and common title issues. Which of the following is considered an involuntary lien that might affect title to a property? A. Mortgage lien. B. Property tax lien. C. Judgment lien. D. Mechanics lien. Answer B. Property tax lien. Explanation. A property tax lien is an example of an involuntary lien which arises due to unpaid property taxes and attaches to the property without the owner's consent. Mortgage liens are voluntary liens created by a mortgage agreement. Judgment liens arise from court judgments, and mechanics liens are claims filed by contractors for unpaid work, all of which can also affect the title but involve different circumstances.